Good evening, everyone. I like to always test out my equipment first to make sure that everything is working properly. So, no. I'll be here when you need me. Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Monika, clinical social worker and social work marketing mentor, and I help social workers design careers that they love and monetize what they know by using digital products so that you're able to move away from one-to-one client work. So, first, I want to check to make sure that everything is working properly. So, I should be streaming from multiple platforms. And where's my chat? Let me see if this is it. Make sure I'm good to go on that. Oh, not plugged in. Let me make sure that I'm good to go on that. Perfect. Okay. So let's see if I'm live everywhere I need to be. Turn this down. Let's see. So it's looking like, oh wait, am I live? If you all can hear me, excuse me, and see me, can you let me know? Oh wait. Okay. So I know that I took a poll on Instagram. A poll on YouTube on a couple topics that I wanted to cover today. So let me see if it's showing me live on TikTok. If you're on TikTok and you can hear me and see me, can you let me know? I'm just testing out my live stream. Let me see, go to the chat. So I mentioned, is this the chat? Oh, perfect. Okay, so the chat is open. So I mentioned I was going to start going live at 8:30, so 8:30 to 9:30 every Thursday. So after my membership that I'm going to go live, and I put a poll on YouTube asking what you all wanted me to cover when I went live. So let me see if it's showing me live. Let me I need everything. Can you check for me? TikTok, Facebook, IG, YouTube. Okay, so I'm just making sure we have everything set up and good to go. It's supposed to be streaming from all of, let's see. Last time when I checked it, oh, it says streaming. Update the channel, and provide a new stream key. Goodness gracious. So Instagram, it doesn't look like I'm streaming from Instagram. Update the channel. So let me test this, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. So that's gonna be my first half of being live. Is making sure that I'm actually live. Air channels. Okay, so it looks like I'm streaming everywhere except on Instagram. Let's see, edit. Stream key. Where do I get a stream key from? I forgot how I did this. Let me see. I forgot how I had did this before. Instagram. Instagram. I remember setting this up, and then I think I clicked on the live. Here's the real. So right now I'm just making sure that everything is set up properly for me to be able to stream. Um, what's that? Account status. Let me see if it's streaming where I need. Can you check, please? It should be a live setting. Let's see if I go to create. I don't think that's it. Live video. Add live video details. Go live. Public. Next. Oh, there it is. Copy. Copy. Okay, let's see if this works. So I'm waiting for. Oh, perfect. This just is saying I should be streaming on all the platforms. Oh, hi. Oh. Hi, Bakari. Hi, Mom. If you can't rely on one person to show up when you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's your mom. Let me see where you from. Oh, on YouTube. Okay, perfect. So thank you all so much, everybody, for joining my live. So I said after my membership on Thursdays that I was gonna go live from 8:30 to about 9:30. So I'll probably stay on a little bit longer just because I needed to get everything set up. So I should be streaming on the platforms. I can see your comments here. So if you have any questions, please let me know. So one of the things that I did today before I started the live stream was I created a poll on my YouTube channel and I asked you all, what did you all want to talk about on the live stream? So I'm gonna go back to the poll so I can let you know what the question was that I asked, and then we'll review the responses. So I'll tell you the actual percentages that you all said in terms of what you wanted me to create. So let me go over to my YouTube channel. Okay, let me see. That's not the right thing. New channel. Okay, so now I am live. Okay, so let me go over to my post. Okay, so I said that I'm going to be starting every Thursday. This is a part of my 12-week year goal. So a part of my 12-week year goals is to grow my Design Your Career membership, and it's to be able to give you all the support that you need to be able to navigate your career. If you know that you're in the scaffolding phase and you're wanting to transition into the social work CEO phase, so you could stay in the scaffolding phase or be in the social work CEO phase. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, I have a YouTube video on my channel and I'll refer to the video. I'll let you know what that video is in a second after I read the post. So I said, starting on Thursday, I'll be going live every week, every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If there are any topics that you would like for me to discuss on the live, please drop them below. In the comment section, the focus will be on increasing your income as a social worker, identifying your thought leadership, nailing your niche, building your income outside of your 9 to 5. So for the first one, how to increase your income by reducing one-to-one client work, 46% of you said that you all wanted me to talk about that. Nobody mentioned about identifying your thought leadership, which was interesting. The reason why that's so interesting because that's one of the top ways to increase your income as a social worker is by identifying your thought leadership. Like anyone or most people who you know and you follow online, and you listen to their content, what you like about their page is their thought leadership. You like their ideas, you like their concepts, you like their philosophies, you like how they explain things, you align with their value system. So it's very interesting that you all want to increase your income by reducing one-on-one client work, but not wanting to identify your thought leadership. So yeah, maybe because you only could choose one thing, and of the things that didn't seem like the most pressing. So then the other one was nailing down your niche. That was 23%. And then building income outside of your 9 to 5. That was 31%. Then I said, don't see a topic that you want covered. So it looks like you all just completed the poll. So what we're going to talk about today is how to increase your income by reducing one-on-one client work. Now, I think there are multiple ways that you can do this by leveraging your social work skill set. Um, but one specifically, well, let me mention two specifically that I think we can talk about today. So I know all of you might be watching from various channels, but there's been a shift. There is a shift in the online space. And if you are on TT, I hope you all know what that social media platform is, then you'll know that a lot of people have been talking about how they want to use the platform and then navigating their content onto a different platform. So my primary platform that I'm dedicated to using in 2026 is YouTube. So I'm going to be making more content on YouTube. So I want to explain to you like what my current content strategy is, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and then what my long-term plan is. Um, Now, before I mention that, I want to go back to the post that I mentioned when I talked about the post that I'm going to be making. My goal being to get more social workers and therapists into my Design Your Career Mentorship program, and that being for social workers who are in the scaffolding phase and the social work CEO phase. So when you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a video there, and the video is titled, um, let's see, it's a reddish color background on the video, and it says three paths in social work that no one is talking about. So three social work paths that no one else is talking about. So it has about 16,000 views on it. And what I talk about in that video are the three phases of professionalism. And I talk about the career phase, the scaffolding phase, and the social work CEO phase. So I'm going to break down what those three phases are and who the Design Your Career Mentorship is geared toward and whether or not it would be a good fit for you. And then if you decide that that's something that you will want to be a part of, I think I'm building the most amazing community for social workers, therapists, and helping professionals. And I hope that you will feel the same by the time we finish. You would have known, like, would this be helpful for me? These are my goals that I'm working on. I would like the accountability. I would like the support, the resources, the templates, the tools, everything that you get inside of the membership. So by the time we finish, you'll be able to know whether or not this is something that's going to help you in your career. So when I talk about the career phase, that means that you're currently working in your 9 to 5, and that's the sole way that you earn your income as a social worker. So your 9 to 5 work that you're doing, whether you work third shift or an 8 to 5, that's your way of generating money. So when you're in the career phase, that's what you're doing to bring money into your household. So when I talk about the scaffolding phase, you move into the scaffolding phase after you've been working in the career phase. I'd say a good 3, 4, 5 years, I think you're ready to move into the scaffolding phase because you have gained enough knowledge and expertise in the career phase to where you can transition into identifying an area of expertise. So typically, when we're in the career phase, at least for me, we work a lot of generalist jobs. So we were really trained as social workers to be generalists. So we were trained under the generalist intervention model, and we really didn't have an area of expertise for most of our career. And it's only when you've been working in a lot of different career paths that you kind of get a passion for who it is that you want to serve, what it is that you want to do, and how you want to position yourself in your career. And I think like around year 3, you kind of like really figure out like, this is what I want to do. So, and not only this is what I want to do, but I have a depth of knowledge in this area of expertise where I feel like I can teach about this, I can consult about this, I can talk about this and feel confident that I know what I'm talking about. So for me, when I was in my master's program, I did a specialization in school social work. So I did my general MSW coursework, but then I took special classes that prepared me to be a school social worker. Now, at that time, I wasn't a skilled school social worker. Like I was still learning how to engage with teachers, how to do assessments for kids in school, how to understand about Medicaid, reimbursement, how to build relationships and rapport. So teachers feel comfortable talking with me about childhood behavior disorders. So all of those things, what I learned, navigating the school system, learning about No Child Left Behind, and all the other programs that schools had to abide by as it relates to children with disabilities. So all the things as it relates to schools. So that was the specialization that I did. But when I first started learning about being a school social worker, I wasn't an expert yet. So it wasn't until I landed my first school social work job and actually started working in the school that all of the theory that I had learned in my master's degree started to make sense in practice, because I was literally in the school working with teachers, putting everything that I had learned into practice, and then seeing, all the nuances, like things that you might have learned conceptually, but you really didn't have an operational knowledge of what that looked like. So after a couple years, after working in the profession, getting some training, then I felt confident being able to help teachers with behavioral modification strategies and techniques, understanding childhood behavior from childhood behavior from a more nuanced perspective and not like from a surface level understanding. I started to learn about the various brain states, why children behave the way that they do. I started learning about the function of the behavior. I delved more into motivational interviewing. So I started to get more of a depth of knowledge. And then teachers, I felt comfortable talking to them about struggles they were having in the classroom. I felt comfortable training teachers around specific topics. So I think around year 3 or 4 is like really when you kind of get into the groove of that. So when you've been in that career phase for those 3 or 4 years and you feel like, I feel like I have a depth of knowledge around this particular area, this particular thing, I think I can create something on the side. So when you're in the scaffolding phase, you're building something alongside your 9 to 5. So that can be coaching, it could be consulting, it could be a private practice, whatever that idea is that you have and you want to build something for yourself. So oftentimes we kind of know when we're working in the field, like this isn't really sustainable for me to only work my 9 to 5. And if you don't want to work like a lot of part-time jobs that are unrelated. Like maybe you don't want to do Uber, maybe you don't want to do DoorDash. You want to do something that's really gonna leverage your knowledge. Like the fact that you went to school for a $60,000 degree, you might want to put that to work and have it work for you more than just kind of letting it sit to the side and you not utilizing it. So when you move into the scaffolding phase, that's when you decide to build something on the side that can help increase your income. So one of the things that I help social workers do is to create digital tools, digital resources, digital products, leveraging the knowledge that they already had, and then learning how to position themselves online so that they can increase their income that way. So that's the way that I like to teach social workers how to position themselves. It's not about getting another part-time job if you have the expertise to not do that. If you know that you have a desire to utilize social media tools such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, leveraging those tools to be able to position yourself as an expert, I highly recommend that, because one of the words for myself for the year is leverage. So it's learning how to leverage the skills that I have, leverage free tools so that I can get my message out to more people and I'm not always exchanging time for money. So that time for money exchange where my money is always tied to having to physically show up, that was something that I knew I wanted to get away from in 2026. So maybe that's you if you're in the scaffolding phase. That's who my Design Your Career membership is geared toward, is those who are either in the scaffolding phase, so they're working on building something on the side, or for those of you who are in the social work CEO phase. So maybe you work solely within your private practice or within your business, and you know, like when you're in the scaffolding phase, like I can go all in on this. I feel like I can build a career around what I'm doing and step away from my 9 to 5. So when you're fully an entrepreneur and that your income, that's when you're in the social work CEO phase. So let me make sure I didn't lose a connection anywhere, because Restream was kind of Okay, everything seems like it's good to go. So you all can let me know if you have any questions about what I just mentioned about the career phase, the phases of professionalism. I wonder if I could put stuff up on the screen. Because what I could do, let me see, image. I could probably find my YouTube cover. I wonder if I could find my YouTube cover and then add it to the screen for the video that I'm referencing. And then you all will know, oh, here it is, but it's the wrong color. Let me see. But it can give you an idea of the video. 3 paths. No one's talking about. Okay, let me see what happens when I add this. Okay, can you all see that? Okay, let me see. I'm kind of excited. I don't know what I just did. Then I got to get back to place. Okay, then I got to get back. So, okay, then that's full screen. So now on the screen, you all should be seeing um, the video that I mentioned on my YouTube channel. This is what the thumbnail looks like. So when you go to my channel, but it's going to be a red color, so it's going to kind of match the sweater that I have on. So when you go to my channel, this is the video that you're going to see that's going to talk about those 3 phases of professionalism. Now, if you're not watching on YouTube, you might not be able to see, but if you want to come over here on YouTube, you're more than welcome. And then also let me know if you have any questions. You could put those in the chat because I can see the chat for all of the platforms that I'm on. So this is what the thumbnail looks like. So I highly recommend for you to go watch this video. This is going to help you identify what of those 3 phases of professionalism are you in. If you're in the career phase, then you're more than welcome to consume my YouTube content so you can prepare for an interview, so you can work on gaining your area of expertise. But once you've been working 3 to 4 or 5 years or more in the profession and you're in the scaffolding phase or the social work CEO phase, then I would be more than glad to have you inside of Design Your Career. So I highly recommend that you watch that video. So now I need to switch back. Let's see. Remove. Okay. Go back. Okay, there. Okay. So that's the first thing. Identify your area of professionalism, know where you are, and know where you're wanting to go. So next, let me go back to the poll. Okay, so the next thing that came up in the poll was you all wanted to know how to increase your income by reducing one-to-one client work. So one of the things that I will say about that, there are multiple ways to move away from one-to-one client work. And one of the things that I like to do is kind of help you understand the different models that exist. So typically, when we work in micro level practice, which is one of those models that many of us were trained in. So micro level practice, you all know, is when we're working one-to-one with clients. So we are providing one-to-one case management, one-to-one therapy, one-to-one interventions. And when we see clients, there's that unit of exchange, there's that one interaction that happens, and we're helping that one client. Then oftentimes when we switch over to the meso level of social work practice, we're working with more systems at a systems level. So we might be working with schools, we might be working with organizations and institutions at the meso level. So in that way, you're not necessarily working one-to-one, you're moving into a one-to-many model, but your compensation isn't based on the fact that you're helping more people. You're mostly, if you're in your 9 to 5, working like on a salary level or you're on an hourly wage. So even though you've moved away from doing one-to-one work, the income that you're generating isn't reflecting the fact that you have multiple people paying you for one task, because it's still under that career framework. So when you move into the macro level, then you're doing more governmental level, you're doing more systems level work at a kind of higher level. You're looking at policies, procedures, how those things impact individuals. You're doing more planning, more strategy, looking at policy. That's at the macro level. So you're not really working with individuals at that point. You're working with the systems that impact individuals. But even with that model, still, you're not working from a one-to-one model. It's like a systems model that you're working with, but your income is still tied to your ability to show up. So when you learn how to leverage your skills online, you learn how to move away from a one-to-one model from a one-to-many, meaning you learn how to put your knowledge and expertise in front of a lot of people in the online space, and then whoever is in your niche or whoever your target market, when you learn how to position yourself in front of that audience, then those people are the ones who will buy into the offers that you have. They're the people who will support your membership. They'll come to your webinars, whatever that avenue is that you want to create for yourself. So you learn how to talk to not just one person, but multiple people, and then bring people into a community, into a training, into a course, or to purchase a digital product that you have. So you create one piece of content. If you're leveraging social media, you create one piece of content, which could be a video, it could be a reel, it could be a carousel. Hundreds of people see it or thousands of people see it. And then from that one piece of content, you're able to get 10, 20, 100, 1,000 people to buy into the offer that you have. So that's when I talk about moving away from a one-to-one model to a one-to-many. So what that can look like, if you're learning to leverage social media, I recommend creating some type of digital product, or learning how to create a YouTube channel. So that was the first thing that I did when I first started learning how to monetize. What I know is that I created a YouTube channel. So you will want to identify what is that area of expertise so you can use what you've been doing in the career phase. Then you want to bring that over into the scaffolding phase so then you can start creating a digital product from what you already know. So you want to figure out what is a problem that you've been able to solve for yourself or it's been able to solve for someone else. And then once you have a good idea that someone will be willing to pay you to solve that problem, then you know you have a valid idea, or you validated the idea enough to know that it's something that you can position in front of people to be able to monetize from that. So when you decide that you want to move away from one-to-one to one-to-many, you have to decide what model do you want to operate under. Do you want to go all in or on making content, which is something that I highly recommend. And when you do decide that you want to make content, you have to decide, do you want to make long form content or short form content? So when you do short form content, that's when you're creating more reels, more carousels, things for Instagram and for TikTok. When you're doing, those are short form. When you're doing long form content, you're doing more YouTube videos, things that have a longer, what we call shelf life, meaning you get more use and you have more leverage out of your YouTube channel than you do when you're making a one-time Instagram post. Now, one of the things that I have noticed about Instagram, we were just talking about this today inside of my membership, is the hashtags that you use in your description. So hopefully, if you know that you want to use Instagram to monetize and to earn additional income online, if you're using hashtags in your bio, now when you click on those hashtags, they turn blue, and then it'll show you all the reels and all the carousels that relate to that topic. So that's why it's so important for you to nail down your niche, to know what you want to be known for, because once someone clicks on that, it's really a search term. So it's not just a hashtag, it's a search term because people are going to be able to find your content by clicking on that term. And then your videos, your reels, your carousels are going to be what Instagram shows, and they're going to show the most relevant, up-to-date content. So that's the reason why when you identify who it is you want to serve and who you're talking to, when you start making those reels on a consistent basis, your content is going to come up at the top of the feed for Instagram. Same thing for TikTok. The good thing that I like about YouTube is that there's no shelf life for it. Meaning, if someone finds my video that I made 5 years ago, 10 years ago, not only will that video still continue to come up in search, but I'll still be able to earn income and ad revenue from that video. When I post videos on TikTok and Instagram, I'm not earning anything from those videos. I used to, but right now I'm not. So it makes more sense for me to be able to use my platform where I'm able to monetize without having to show up, without having to post every day, and then use that to be able to grow my audience and to grow my income. So you all can let me know if you have any questions about that. if you know what platform you're wanting to be your primary platform for 2026. So I know for me, my strategy right now, until I start posting more of my long-term YouTube videos, my strategy right now is to post my short form videos on TikTok. I just think it's so much more fun over on TikTok. So I post my short form videos on TikTok, and then I use a platform called repurpose.io. And then repurpose.io sends my TikTok videos. I have a workflow for all of my social media platforms, and then it sends my TikTok video out to all of my other social media platforms. So I have my TikTok videos being sent out to Facebook, to YouTube Shorts, to Instagram. Did I say Facebook already? To Pinterest, into LinkedIn. So those are all the platforms that when I make a new TikTok video, it's automatically being sent out to all of those platforms. So it makes it super easy to only have to create content for one platform, and then it's just being sent out um, all over. And what I'm doing now is I have my older TikTok videos that I didn't repost to my other platforms. Those are on auto post. So those are being automatically posted. I set the time that I wanted those to auto post. So I said I wanted to post maybe 2 times a day. So now it's auto posting those videos on whatever channel that I identified in my workflow. And those are constantly being uploaded every single day until it gets to my most recent post, because I had it go back from my older post and then work up to my most previous post. So that's something that you can absolutely do if you know that you're wanting to start making content and have it be a strategic and intentional part of how you're growing your income. So you all can let me know if you have any questions about leveraging social media. What is the best platform? How to identify your niche? That was something else that we talked about. And I told all of the social workers and therapists who are a part of my mentorship, I said, I'm going to nail down and drill down on this idea of having a niche because it's so important and we overlook it so often. And let me see if I can find my slide. I have a training called Nailing Your Niche. Let me see if I can find my slide. I'll download the slide. I'll upload it to Restream so we can talk through the importance of nailing down your niche. Because one of the things that came up in the membership, I think is so important that we talk about it. One of the members was saying that she wanted to nail down her niche, but she kind of didn't want to nail down her niche because she didn't want to leave anyone out. And I think that's a very common sentiment that we have as social workers and therapists, because we feel like if we decide or figure out who it is that we want to talk to, then we're leaving other people out who might need the message. But one of the things that I tried to get her to understand was we all have times where we want an expert. Like we, most of the time, we don't want a generalist when it comes to getting our hair done, when it comes to our lashes, when it comes to surgery. We want to work with the best who specializes in that thing that we need. And it's no different when you're niching down. So you don't want to have the idea of thinking that you're at a disadvantage when you niche down. You're really giving people the best opportunity to connect with you and find you, because they know that you're speaking directly to them and that you've positioned yourself to specifically help them. And you really, what I explained to her, is that you really water down your messaging when you decide that you want to serve too many people, because people don't know whether you're for them or are you for somebody else. So you want to make it crystal clear that this is who you serve, um, this is what they can get from you, and this is how you can help. And you don't want it to be any mistake that you're the right person who can help them solve the problem that they need. So let me find my um, zone of genius. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, so let me see. This is slide 87. So let me download slide 87. Then I'm going to show you all what I mean. 87. If you want to come over to YouTube, then you'll be able to see the slide. Go back to Restream, and then I can add an image. Wait, that's not what I want. Add an image. So this is from my how to identify your area of expertise. Where is it? Downloads. Right here. There it is. Oh shoot, no, I don't need it as a PDF. I need it. Download. 87 has JPEG. Okay. 87. So I'm gonna add this image here, and I'll give you all a second if you're on another platform, Facebook, and you can't see in the screen, then I'm gonna upload this image so you'll be able to see. And when I talk about nailing down your niche and identifying your area of expertise, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so I always talk about when you're nailing down your niche or when you're identifying your area of expertise. So this is going to be for those of you who want to move away from one-to-one work, because the way that you're going to be able to move away from one-to-one work is having a level of specialization that people will be willing to pay you for. Now, if you don't have something that is appealing to people, something that people desire, something that people want, something that people will be willing to pull out their credit cards and pay you for, you would need to identify what that is, because that's going to be your differentiator that moves you away from being a generalist to a specialist. So think about all the services and all the things that you pay for day to day. You're paying for things based off of someone's specialized skill or knowledge. So whether or not you're going to Pilates, whether or not you're going to a dentist appointment, you're going to a chiropractic appointment, or you're going to get your hair done, your nails done, the people who you select to do those services for you, they have a specialized skill, and you're willing to come out of your pocket and pay for that skill based on how good of a job that they do. So you want to think about your professional expertise in the same way. What is something that people would say, you do such a good job at this, I would be willing to come out of pocket and pay you based off of your area of expertise and your knowledge. So in order for you to get there and move away from one-to-one work, you have to stop thinking about the work that you're doing, that it only exists for you being able to do it for a job, for an employer, or for someone else. Those are absolutely skills that you can transition into being able to create something for yourself in the scaffolding phase, or to be able to use those skills as an entrepreneur. So in order to decide, like, well, how do I know what that thing is that I need to be doing, or how do I know what that skill is that I should be leveraging in order to move away from one-to-one work? So one of the things that I recommend for social workers to do is something that I call the passions, talents, and market inventory. So the passions, talents, and market inventory. So what you do is, if you can see my screen, you'll see that there are three concentric circles. So they kind of overlap with each other. One of those circles is called the passion circle, where you write down all of the things that you're passionate about, whether that is skating, which was one of my passions, is roller skating. It can be coloring, it could be handwriting, crocheting, all the things that you're passionate about. Now, the reason why I want you to write down all of those passions is because those are the things that come naturally to you. So you didn't have to go to school to do it. You didn't have to take a class to do it. You're just kind of naturally born with it. It could be singing. It could be jingles. We know on TikTok, that's kind of been going viral about people just making jingles. So what are you naturally passionate about? Whether someone was paying you or not, whether or not someone was paying you or not, you would enjoy doing it. So write all of those things down, because what you want to do is you want to mark things off the list. Like, you don't want to monetize those things. You just want that to be something that you enjoy, something that you do as a hobby, something that you do for fun, but you have no desire to make money off that. And I'll tell you in a second the reason why that's so important. So you want to, in one circle, write down all of the things that you're passionate about. And then in the next circle, you want to write down all the talents. So those can be the things that you were trained around. What did you go to school for? What did you get a certification in? Specialization? Um, what did you like have a certain skill set where you um, worked under someone or were mentored under someone, trained under someone to have a specialization or an area of expertise. So you want to write all of those things down. And then at the bottom of those concentric circles, you have the market. So the market is where everyone in the world exists. Anyone who is buying something or is looking for something that they need, they exist in the marketplace. So your zone of genius is where your passions, your talents, and your market, they all converge. And in the middle, that's what we call your zone of genius. That middle sweet spot is where all of those things converge. So I mentioned when you have passions and talents up at the top, like you'll see that there's some overlap between passions and talent. So where that overlaps, um, you'll notice that you're passionate about it and you have the talent to do it. But if there's no market fit, that's what we call like a starving artist, meaning you are really good at something, you're talented at it, you can do it with your eyes closed, but the market hasn't said that they wanted it. No one has said that they wanted to buy it. No one said that they needed it. So it can be really hard for you to make money from it because there's no market fit. So that's what happens when you get stuck with the passion circle and the talent circle when it's not converging with the market. So when you have passion for what you're doing, it's like something that comes natural to you and the market wants it, there's going to be a high demand, but you're going to oftentimes feel like you're losing your passion. You get burnt out from it. You don't want to do it anymore because you've monetized it to the point to where the only time you get satisfaction, or you used to get satisfaction from it, but you don't anymore because you can only do it to make money. So if you know that you have a passion, something that you're really good at, and you don't want to monetize it, I don't recommend going down that route because you'll burn out from it. You'll find that you used to love something, but because you positioned it to where now it's the thing that is tied to your income, now you don't even want to do it anymore. So you don't just want to stay in that passions in the market box and then where you're not talented in it, because you want to be talented enough to where you have some flexibility, you have some ways to move around where you're not just stuck doing the thing that you're passionate about and the market wants it, because you'll easily burn out that way. So you don't just want to be in the passions and market box, and then you don't just want to be in the talents and market box. So if you're just in talents and market, that means again that the market wants it, you're talented at it, but oftentimes you have this imposter syndrome because you don't feel like you're good enough. Like maybe you were trained in it, maybe you do have some specialization, but you don't know enough as this person, or it doesn't come as naturally to you as how they say it, or they make really good points around this, but I have to work super hard in order for me to be able to get half of the acknowledgement that they get. So these feelings start to set in, like you're not good enough or that you're not smart enough, because you're really good at it because you trained to do it, but you're not passionate enough in it to where you feel confident that someone would be willing to pay you for it. So thinking about it in that way, you don't want to be too much in it. You don't want to be too much in any one of those circles. You want to make sure that you have a really good convergence of the three, which is going to best position you to be able to identify something that you can monetize, and then eventually be able to move away from one-to-one work. So on the slide that I have, that's your best career opportunity, but it's not even just your best career opportunity. It's your best opportunity to begin to monetize and leverage the skill sets that you already have. So when you're in that zone of genius, you want to think about when you are in the career phase, how can you begin developing out each one of those circles, like finding passions, identifying passions early on that could be a good market fit, but then you're also developing enough talent and skill in the career phase to where when you do want to monetize from it, you have the ability to do that because the market already says that they want it. So let me know if you have any questions about what I just mentioned. If you know that you have a niche that you maybe been like, I kind of feel like I want to do this, or it would be a really good idea, but I don't know if people would pay for it. I really like doing this, but I don't really know how to turn it into something that I could create maybe a digital product from, or a course or a training. If you all are there and you have any questions about that, let me know, and then I'll make sure that I answer any questions. So let me open the chat. I just been yapping and yapping. Okay, so someone said post more social work interview questions on YouTube. Okay, I'll take a note of that. I mean, I pretty much cover all of the questions that can be answered in an interview, but I'll definitely I can make a part two. If you specifically have questions that you struggled with in an interview, you can let me know what some of those questions were. And then I can I can make a video around that. I think I made that video. This was before chat was a thing. So I could absolutely go into chat and kind of, it's been a long time since I've interviewed for a social work position. But I'll definitely look into what some relevant interview questions could be. I recently sent an email out to my email list about how to prepare for a group interview. That was probably one of the most intimidating interviews that I had ever done, was being able to successfully secure a job going through a group interview. So that requires a level of confidence that sometimes we don't realize we need to tap into. But I did do a post. I put that post in an email form and sent it out to my email list. So if you didn't receive that, I could probably take that and then create a YouTube video around that. So I took a note of that. Okay, that's so funny. Does anyone have any other questions? I'm not showing that I'm live on TikTok. Um, I wonder why it's not showing. Let me see. Oh, you do? Okay. I just checked IG. I think I am. Okay, so does anyone have any other questions about moving away from one-to-one client work? You all can let me know, what type of client work are you currently doing in the profession? I know we have a lot of people in medical social work. Um, like I mentioned, my specialization is in school social work. So what area? I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything on TikTok. It doesn't look like I'm live on TikTok. I don't know why. Let me check Facebook. Okay, let me see. I did have someone checking just to make sure it was still live. I think we're still good to go. I'm not able to see on Facebook that I am, and I know it's late for some people, but that's okay, because I made the commitment that I said I was going to go live on TikTok, Instagram, all the platforms after my membership, give some tips of things that we talked about, or kind of let you all know the behind the scenes of what we talked about today, and then how that can benefit you if you have a desire to use content to build out digital product offers. Or one of the members, she has a book that or a workbook that she's been promoting, but now she's wanting to do more work with military and veterans. So we're going to be kind of building out some things for her. I have a couple people in there who have a private practice, so they're in that scaffolding phase and wanting to transition into um, just building up something solid for themselves outside of their 9 to 5, which I think that's ideal for most of us because we know that um, job security is kind of not a thing anymore for a lot of us. So we want to be able to have a way to create something sustainable, something that's going to last, something that we control. And when I say something that you control, meaning you decide how much you want to get paid for it, how many people you would need for it to work, who it is that you want to serve, without feeling like you have to be beholden to an agency or bureaucratic red tape or other things that get in the way of you being able to serve the population that you want to serve. So when you learn how to do the positioning that I'm talking about, it gives you a level of freedom that you don't always have when you have other people that you have to answer to. And I think ideally, when we say that we want to earn more as social workers, I think that's at the heart of what we actually want, is having that level of autonomy and that level of freedom in our schedule, with our time, to be able to serve who we want. Because oftentimes we know the things that our clients need, and it's often agency policy that can get in the way of us being able to serve people in the capacity that we know that they need. So being able to have something that you control, something that you create by your own hand, and then knowing that you don't always have to do it from scratch. That's the beauty of being able to be in connection with someone who has experience in marketing, graphic design, is that a lot of things that you want to do or a lot of things that you want to create is already been done. You just have to learn how to put yourself out there, become more confident, knowing that you have expertise that other people value and need, and then once you're able to do that, like step into that confidence, you can literally create whatever it is that you want. And that's one of the reasons why I named the program Design Your Career, because I really want social workers and therapists to step into this identity of being designers. Like, this is really about what you conceive and conceptualize in your mind, and then how you're able to bring that into right size. You're able to make a plan around it. You're able to make a strategy around it. It doesn't have to just say um, this idea that you have, or something that's utopian and you don't really have a pathway to make it real and to make it tangible. We're taking ideas and things that you've decided and said that you've wanted to do for years, and we're giving it legs. We're putting a plan behind it. We're putting a timeline behind it. So all of us are working from the 12-week year model, which is how I do my planning for my goals that I set for myself. So that's the model that we're using to plan things out, and it really makes sure that we have like these short sprints of time, to be able to see the progress that we want to see on our goals. So I'm excited about it. And if anyone wants to know more about Design Your Career Mentorship Program, just let me know, and then I can make sure that you get the information that you need about the membership. So we'll see if we have any questions. Let's see. And normally I do get when I go live on TikTok, just that platform alone, because I'm still not seeing that I'm live. If anyone, let me see if I can see if anyone's here from TikTok. I'm not able to see. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about ideas that you want to create? Digital product ideas, something that you've been working on or you've had in your mind and you just not brought it to life yet. And the thing is, we're still early enough in the year to where you don't have to feel bad or be hard on yourself about the fact that you've not brought your idea to life yet. It's totally okay. At least from the planning model that I use, the 12-week year. So our first 12 weeks is the first 90 days. So January, February, March. So we're just now going into the second phase, the second part of our first 12-week year. So when you learn how to use the 12-week year planning model, you take those smaller goals and then you learn how to get more things done in 90 days than most people get done in a year. So not only are we, identifying things that are tangible, we also have monthly planning sessions. So we have strategic times where we meet for 2 hours and we just get to work. It's like focus planning time, or not planning time, it's focus work time. So we do our planning and talking about our goals on our weekly membership calls, but then when we do our monthly work sessions, that's when we're bringing 1 to 2 tasks that we want to complete within that 2 hour time frame so that we can see progress on what we're doing. And we're holding each other accountable and bringing our task and saying, this is the thing that I'm going to be working on and getting done in this 2 hour time frame. And then by the end of the 2 hours, you would have knocked something off of your list that will get you closer to your goals. So being in that type of community is invaluable. And I think oftentimes when we are in the scaffolding phase and we're building something outside of our 9 to 5, that can oftentimes be the loneliest time. I think the scaffolding phase and the social work CEO phase are the loneliest times for social workers, because like you don't know if the idea is going to work. You don't know if people are going to buy the thing that you want. You don't know if you're going to be able to move from the scaffolding phase to being a full-time entrepreneur. Are you going to be able to make the income? Is it going to be sustainable? It can be a very scary place to be. And I remember it was so funny when I first started my private practice. Um, Being in an office by yourself all day is like, it just feels weird. Like normally when you're working in a 9 to 5, you have somebody's desk or cubicle who you can go over to and just kind of chat a little bit before you start your day and just have a little conversation. When you start a private practice, it's literally just you. Like it's you, and you. It's not anybody really around for you to talk to. And then when you think about calling somebody, it's like, oh, everybody's at work right now. So it really takes some adjustment because you're used to being around at least 2 or 3 different people in your 2 or 3, 4 people sometimes in your workday and having regular meetings. But when you transition into being an entrepreneur, like the only time you're meeting with someone is if maybe you've networked or connected with somebody and then you need to set up for like a referral or to do an intake and you're meeting with a client. So those times can be very lonely when you're first starting out because you don't have that system around you like you do when you're working at a 9 to 5, because those systems have been built for decades. So they run like a well-oiled machine. But when it's just you and you're a solopreneur and getting things off the ground, it can be very isolating. So being in community with people who are doing the same thing when you're meeting regularly, that can just kind of keep you tapped in. So it can bring some familiarity to what you're doing as opposed to just always operating in isolation. So does anyone have any questions before we wrap up the live? I'll probably be hopping off at around 9:30, and I'll probably I might hop on TikTok for a little bit just to see if anyone did catch the live, because normally I can see my questions coming in, but it's not showing that I'm on live, which is like, what is going on? I'm assuming that it's working. And now I don't know, because I did use this platform, if my live is going to save to TikTok or to Instagram. So I'll have to like look at the technical stuff after I get off the live and see what's going on. So does anyone have any questions before I wrap up for tonight? Now this is going to be every Thursday. Like I'm super excited about this. Everyone says when you first start doing live, you just want to stay consistent. Um, make make it a point to not break the promise that you made to yourself. And someone who I follow on TikTok, she says, stick to the plan, not to the move. And that's what I tell myself every day when it's time for me to get on live: stick to the plan and not to the move. Meaning the plan is to go live every day for 1 hour after my membership, even when my mood says I'm tired, I'm ready to get out of these clothes and wind down. There's only one day a week, so I can definitely handle one day a week connecting with you all, answering your questions. I'm super appreciative of everyone who was here. For anyone who asked questions about the interview, I did take a screenshot of your comment. So I'll definitely make sure to post that. I kind of want to share with you all some plans that I have for my YouTube channel. So let me see if I can go find what I put in the chat earlier today. I'm hoping I can find it so I can share. So let me know. Do I have anyone who's an adjunct professor? I could probably delete that. Do I have any adjunct professors here? So I've been connecting with a lot of adjuncts over the last couple weeks with the content that I'm going to be making on my YouTube channel. So I will share this. One of the things that I'm going to be adding onto the channel is I'm going to be making vignettes um, for um, social work adjunct. So for you to be able to use the vignette in your classroom to have it be a supplement for you while you're teaching a lesson or working through certain principles or concepts within the social work profession. So I'm super excited about having these vignettes on my channel. And instead of like just having the ones you read, remember how in graduate and undergrad we would just read the vignette off the paper and then do the assignment and figure out what the client needed and what was the best intervention. So I want to be able to bring that to life. Like we're in an age now with social media, with AI, we don't have to use static tools anymore. Like we can use things that are more interactive. We can use more video. We can use more audio. We can use more interactive games. So I'm really wanting to bring that element to my channel and I'm so excited about it. So that's something else that you all can expect from the channel. Um, and then how I was doing that. I think I did a anxiety like what was it? CBT with an anxiety client. Like I'm going to be doing more of those therapeutic interventions where you can kind of see what it looks like in practice. So I'll be doing more of those as well. So, all right, thank you all so much for joining my live. I will see you all next Thursday. I hope you have an amazing night. Reach out to me if you have any questions because that's what I'm going to be using to create the content for the live. And then I'll probably be adding some slides to the Instagram stream, maybe. I don't know. And then I'm going to be also doing some social work news, and I'm excited about that too. So, we're going to just be having fun over here on YouTube. So if you can join me over here, you'll be able to see the full picture of what we're doing. And yeah, I'll see you all next Thursday. I hope you have a great night.